Hello everyone and welcome to episode 17 of my Feed the Beast Let's Play. This episode is actually roughly an hour long, so I decided to split it in two. And right now I'm making some wooden ties from railcraft in the carpenter, using creosote oil and some wooden slabs. I need these for the tracks. For those I also need rail, which I'm showing you the recipe in a moment. Right now I use refined iron because it seems like the cheapest thing. It's better than iron, and steel's a bit too expensive, and I don't have a blast furnace yet. And these are metal posts. I got some of these as well, and yeah. So because this was recorded a long time ago, I don't know all of what I did, so we'll see what I did. Yeah, what am I doing? I don't know. I'm gonna sleep through the night. And oh, that give, that was yeah, that's because it wasn't my test world, and yeah, obviously my test world I'm on cheat mode, so yeah, I threw it away and then I made it. Don't worry. And I killed 2 blazes. And the reason I got so many blaze rods is, well, I pulverized them and transmuted the powder back into blaze rods. And with crafting you get 2 blaze powder, so you can transmute 2 blaze powder back into a blaze rod. However, the pulverize lets you get 4 blaze powder, so you can basically get a nice feedback loop. And I'm throwing some creosote oil from my tank in there, and making wooden ties. And I'm going out, and this to the left is a building I made for my bees. As you can see by the stuff that's there, and also the, well, how shall I say, the oddly regular dirt. There used to be a bee house here, and I'm gonna skip this digging process. And I'm back, and I'll lay down a foundation for my wheat farm, which I said last episode I would do now. And my old bee stuff is still there, but I'm gonna get rid of it at some point. So I'm just gonna try to lay out the tracks in a way that sort of makes sense. The cart, because we'll be using Steve's carts, can only farm the blocks that are directly adjacent to it. So that's how we'll be laying that out. We'll be laying it out in a way that I can have as much of this as possible. And yeah, last episode I made this advanced diamond drill, but by now I've stopped using it because, well, it just runs out of power so quickly. I might use it more once I've got my advanced nano chest plate made, which is coming episode, let me check. '18, 19, I don't know. Yeah, so it's actually in the next episode. It'll be in episode 18, and yeah, you can see the layout here. I'm gonna move that left part over 1 block, and then I'll be right back. And I did, and I also cut out a bit because, well, just a loop of track isn't gonna do it. I need an advanced detector rail. I just showed you the recipe. And because I want to have multiple layers in this farm, well, I'll have to make it go up. That's what the metal posts are for, by the way. I'll have this powered mostly by a solar engine, and I've tested that too. If I have tracks on metal posts, those don't block sunlight, so the solar engine's still gonna be able to work, which is cool. So I'm doing this, and at the moment it's all symmetric. It's gonna pretty much stay that way, except for a few exceptions. And with Steve's cards, well, cards can have an inventory, like they can have internal chests, and I'm gonna have a module that's called the farmer, and this has this has 3 inventory slots for seeds, etc. And we need to interface with all that, and that's what the cargo manager is for. So you can see right there I'm just pulling along metal posts and putting rails on them. The metal posts, by the way, are from Railcraft, as you might guess from their very nice interaction with rails. And I put down 1 too many because they don't appear like a full block. Now I'm gonna place them such that well, I'm gonna have to begin the slope a bit earlier, such that the card still fits through. And I'm gonna make a cut and build the next layer. And I actually built all of the layers, so that's how it looks. Just at the top it loops around in the back like so. I pushed it a bit toward the middle so that I'd be able to farm a slightly larger area, and that hole down there is where advanced detector rail, cargo manager, etc. are gonna go. So I will start laying out the dirt, and yeah, just lay out some dirt, leave some slits for the cards to fit through, but otherwise just fill in the floors. And I have to ramble a bit here because well, I've got a few seconds here which I probably said something important, but I can't remember what. So next episode, this is actually one of the few times, oh okay, I put dirt everywhere. And now I'm gonna start just putting stone bricks everywhere, just wall it in all nice and tidy. I really like how stone bricks look. They look so clean and professional. And there we go. I also put in a ladder in the middle and glass viewers at the top, because they have the same properties as glass, except that they look way more awesome. And you can see I still haven't moved my bee stuff, and I've also got a lot of cows. I don't know if I showed them yet. I just brought them over from a bit to the north from the forest. I brought over 3 cows, and yeah, I changed my farmcraft room a bit, I do think so, and yeah, I bred them using wheat that I had stored up, and one of the purposes of this farm is, as a matter of fact, to fuel a cow breeder that I'll also be building at some point. So what we'll definitely do next episode is build an advanced nano chest plate, because I'm getting tired of this jetpack that keeps running out, and of having to choose between it and the nano chest plate and the backpack, because obviously neither the chest plate, no, okay, so that's the recipe for the Kart Assembler, a block from Steve's cards that lets you actually make those modular cards. So the way this works is you okay, first you need a Kart Assembler, of course, which I'm crafting right here, and fabric is awesome as always. And you can see I've got a few tracks laying around, rails lying around in there. There are my 2 simple PCBs, and there's this, and I need some stone. I've got just enough. And kaboosh, Kart Assembler. And I'm thinking about where I shall put it, and methinks right there-ish, next to my other machines. Like there. There we go, Kart Assembler. So, oh wow, that's a complicated GUI. And there are a few upgrades for it as well. Those are basically other blocks that you place on the sides, and they do something or other to it. Some are really simple, like they let it store more fuel, and or they make it run faster or whatever. And you can see that the crafting recipes for these are sometimes pretty crazy. See this? We need Galgadorian metal for this. And the ingots right down in the sides, they are the most expensive material in Steve's cards. They take like a huge load of stuff, and I promise you I will not be using any Galgadorian stuff until I have a proper applied energistics system. So we are not gonna make any of these upgrades. However, now first we need the actual card. We could use a wooden hull, but actually that's not a very good idea because it's kind of crappy. The reinforced hull is what I like to use, but reinforced metal is also one of these crazy things, as you can see here. Oh wow, lots of stuff. So we'll use the standard hull. We could use the mechanical pig, it's almost as good as the standard hull and way cheaper, but I actually haven't found any pigs yet. So we're gonna stick with the good old standard hull. It's gonna serve a purpose well. We need some iron, which actually, hey, I've got enough for that. And I need some sticks, so let's make sticks. And let's craft up the wheels and the hull, and there we go. And now, yeah, you can see all the crazy tooltips. I actually filmed this, well, it was kind of not that good, but I can explain it as we go. So as you can see, these holes have a few different numbers to them, and I'll be using a solar engine, the just regular old solar engine up here. I'll craft up that stuff off camera. There we go. So we have engines, because the cart needs energy both to move and just to do stuff in general. Most other functions also need fuel. So because it's not going to be always exposed to sunlight, there might be water or dirt or whatever above it, or it might be raining, or it may be night or whatever. We are going to give it an alternative power source, which is quite simply but going to be coal. And for that we need a coal engine, which uses a piston, 2 pistons, and this one. Need some iron and a furnace, and I've got a load of furnaces left. Boom, now we got our 2 engines. I think that's the maximum that fits in this type of hole. No, we could fit one more in there. You can fit up to 5 engines, but that only fits into a reinforced hole. So we can fit 1 tool on any cart, only 1 tool can fit. And we want the farmer, which farms wheat and I guess also potatoes, carrots, etc. So I just made one after showing you the recipe, and we're gonna put that right in there. Attachments are basically a few extra devices, like we got a hydrator and a fertilizer, which we are gonna do. There's also a cage that you can put mobs in, so that's a hydrator. It's really easy to make. It's just a bunch of nothing's easy to make in Steve's cards. The crafting is actually pretty much a pain. So once again I'll do the hydrator off camera. And there's also the fertilizer, which, well, it doesn't exactly use bone meal, but it does make the plants grow faster. And the hydrator and fertilizer have a sort of internal tank. The hydrators obviously holds water, and the fertilizers holds it's actually more of a gauge that just tells you how many units of fertilizer it has. And I think each piece of bone meal has like I don't know, some amount of this. And I just crafted I'm just crafting the front chest, I think. And watch out what's gonna happen. This could almost be on purpose, but I'm telling you it's not. I'm running back and forth because I want to put my stuff. because I want to grab an iron chest for the leftovers. This chest is gonna be for for everything to do with rails and minecarts and stuff. And oh my, farmer and front chest will clash at the following side. Front. That's no good. Well, yeah, obviously if we have a farm in the front, we can't put a chest there. So we'll have to do another type of chest. So we will do the side chests, I think. No, the internal chests, because actually, if we look at this, all of it is taken except the internal chest. The extracting chests are a really advanced module that holds like a lot of stuff. Otherwise, nothing for us. And on all the Steve's cards things, you see like types and modular cost and whatever. So yeah, there we are, and I do think that that's all we need. We could assemble it now, and I think we will. However, we do need fuel. Is there anything else? Well, we could look at the add-ons. I'm gonna see if there are any that I want, but there are none. Yep, we need none of those. So on the hulls you can see, I think, 4 statistics: maximum engines count, modular capacity, modular complexity cap, and max add-on count, I think. Yeah, that's it. So okay, now it's sucked all the ingredients in and it's actually building the cart. And so let me continue explaining to you how that works. So add-ons and engines are specific types of modules, and each type of hull has a specific cap on those. It's just a hard cap that's just there. So this specifically the regular hull, which are the standard hull, can hold 3 engines and no more, and what, 5 or 6 add-ons, and that's it. And otherwise, the amount of stuff you could put on there is governed by 2 rules. 1, you cannot put anything on there that has a modular complexity cost higher than the complexity cap of the hull. And we're gonna make a cargo manager. We need that for interfacing with the carts, and I'm gonna craft that up off camera, and believe me, I dub up horribly. In order to access that inventory using other machines, we also need a cargo distributor, which I'm also gonna make. And I made it, though. Yep, cargo manager. And I'm storing all the iron panes in here, and you see I've got so many because I actually dubbed up the crafting recipes a bit. We got a cargo manager. I think we're gonna make the distributor later, apparently. I don't actually know what I'm making right here. Yeah, tons of stuff. That's what happens if you let a quarry, a max size quarry, run all the way to bedrock. And I've even set up another one right next to it. I'm leaving a too thick wall, but that's kind of on purpose. So what am I making right here? Oh, right, the advanced detector ray. So let's go up here, and I forgot something, which is the cart. Yeah, it takes a long time. Me waiting for that time is actually one of the main reasons that this took so long. And this bow is so awesome, I love it. I hope I never lose it, because it's just so powerful. So we'll put our cargo manager, wait, what am I doing? Okay, it's getting dark. And I'm putting this here. And we don't want any mobs to spawn here, so we're gonna light that up. We're gonna torch this place, yeah! This is the middle. I like putting torches in the middle, it usually even works out rather well. We can put a torch there because the cart's not going to be able to reach that spot actually. And this just so happens to be the middle as well. And no mobs can spawn, not even in the corners. And same thing here. We don't need that one, let's put it here. And I don't know what I'm doing. The card does have a hydrator within it. Oh, and also technically we don't need to do anything. We could just throw down the card and the cargo manager and just have it run on a loop of track, and it would farm stuff, but it wouldn't be very efficient. And it would also take up much more space, and sorry, I just dropped a coin. I'm gonna get it later, especially because it's way on the other side of the room. On those link books there, I built a ridiculously tiny nexus, just a small cobble cubby hole, and yeah, I slept through the night. I lit up the whole farm. And I'm doing something. Alright, I'm looking whether or not my cart is done. And it still isn't. So I'm gonna move all this bee stuff over into my actual bee room. And I'm also gonna just start off camera just breeding the bees, just taking out the drones and princess, and that's it. And my card is finally finished, and as you can see, the name of the item is Modular Card. And we're just gonna go in here and place it down, and you can see it actually renders all the things. And it's out of fuel because there's dirt above it, so it's getting blocked, but that's no big deal. So let's just set these priorities. This just means that the higher the if there are multiple engines in a cart, then the one among those that can run, only the one with the highest priority is gonna run. And these are those storage tanks, gauges that I talked about earlier, that we're gonna fill up now. The fertilizer one takes bones or bone meal. The tank can store I think 1 stack of bones, and the hydrator stores 4 buckets in the tank. And obviously you can just put a bucket into the inventory slot, so you can give your cart 5 buckets. In the 1.5 version of Steve's carts, it's actually possible to have yeah, that's just me making buckets. It's actually possible to have brain fart, to have the carts have actual tanks and not just gauges that are just arcane and proprietary. So it's actual tanks, and they can hold any forge liquid, so pretty much any liquid in Feed the Beast, then just filling up this tank. And you can see how that works, and I actually did that because it's actually 8 buckets. You can see it just eats up the bones there, and it holds a stack of bones in the tank, which is 192 units of fertilizers, which means it's equivalent to 192 pieces of bone meal, which is in fact the case. So I'm grabbing some more bones there. And later on I'm gonna set up a system that's slightly better at keeping everything filled here. But the hydration, well, let's just say it's a bit impractical the way I did it. And we don't need any bones in the internal chest, which as you can see is really tiny. But, well, that's not a problem because it's enough for that farm. Because basically once the cart has done a full round, we don't need to worry about it anymore. I put my bones back in there, and I do the same thing with brain fart. Bones, blaze rods, and whatchamacallits, wood, which is that I pulverize or sawmill them, and then I transmute it back into the original thing, and I get more. I know it's a bit cheaty, but whatever. And you can see it's already tilling the soil, hydrating it, and doing stuff. And that smoke there means that the coal engine is currently active. So it's tilling the soil here. And in a moment it's gonna be exposed to sunlight, so you can see the coal engine shutting off and the solar engine deploying, which has a really neat animation to it. It's actually got a really neat rendering too. And as a joke, I think I might at some point... Oh, dog. Don't mind it. Our dog is stupid. At some point, just as a joke, I might even build a sorting system using Steve's cards. I saw that mentioned on some YouTuber's channel. I can't remember which one it is off the top of my head. So you can see the cards just rolling along, tilling the soil and doing stuff. And you've got this really complex interface here. So you've got a huge inventory and stuff right here. And it needs an advanced detector rail to interface with the card. So you wanna pull from the storage slots on the blue side, I do think. And we wanna put stuff into the engine on the blue side as well, and that stuff's coal coke. I'm not actually throwing any coal coke in there, and I still haven't, and it's only used up like not even half a stack. So yeah, that's what, and I figured, well, it's gonna last a long time anyway, so I just disabled it. Now we need a cargo distributor because the cargo manager pulls all that stuff into its own inventory, but we can't leave it there. So I just made the cargo distributor, I do think, and I actually made even some more stuff. You can see I put water there. The tracks over there, obviously you can't do that with normal tracks. So that's why I used suspended tracks, also from Railcraft. Pretty cool. You can just put them right on top of water. Basically they don't need a block to support on. And I think you can have up to a string of 2 consecutive floating tracks, and that's it. So well, okay, actually you can have 3 consecutive ones, but then it needs to be attached on both sides, and I'm dropping into a block right there. So I've got a filter pulling out via the cargo distributor using red power tube, and this is where I actually decided to split the episode. So we built the farm, the basics are going, but as we'll see in the next episode, there are still a few problems with it that we're gonna fix. Oh, by the way, this is just a quick bucket filler. I replaced the hoppers with relays. Yeah, I'm just giving you a sneak preview of next episode. And because this chest was actually getting full, I moved my redstone nickelite and for system out here. Wow, are you done? Apparently not. Somehow I missed 1 stack of nickelite. Well. So with this, goodbye and see you in the next part of this episode. Let me just... Oh, I'm stupid. That's a stack that I need. Alright. Piece of coal, coke. Oh, and I also made a lot of steel. I've only got 1 stack left, but I made 2 stacks into steel plates, and most of that into boils. which we're also gonna see in episode 18. This was part 1 of episode 17 of FTB's Let's Play. I hope you enjoyed it. In part 2 of this episode, we will finish up the wheat farm, and in the end it will look like, oh man, this is good because this actually means I get to give you a preview. Yay! It will look like this. We have wheat, as you can see. I even filled up a whole barrel. This is how it looks in the end. Nothing has changed down here. It's still just okay. I actually wanted to explain that, but I couldn't because I got cut off, so I'll do that quickly. So as you can see, this is a Zycraft multi-tank full of water. Below this block there's a valve. Below this one there's a piece of Zycoium water which acts like a water source block, and specifically it makes this multi-tank just keep filling itself. Those two blocks, this one and the one below the transposer here, are item IOs. They let us interface with these two slots. The left one's set to blue, which means this slot. The right one's orange, but you can see it. This filter here pulls out wheat, seeds and empty buckets. The empty buckets get filtered away through this. They get filled up here and they get pulled back out and put into this, and there's always this rendering glitch where this doesn't connect until you right click on the distributor, but that's no big deal. And that's basically all there is to this. This water here, yeah, I explained that water. Let's just see where our cart is currently. All the way at the top. You can see how full this is. Well, actually it's not that full, but it's alright. So, now finally, goodbye and see you in part 2 of this episode. Man. Oh. Monsters. Okay, let's just get them. This is how you kill creepers. Creeper, die. Here. And the feets, get the feets. Kill the feets. Yeah. I got that one from Vex. It's been stuck in my mind ever since I heard it, and every time I kill an Enderman I do this now. This is a huge tank that's just supposed to give me a bigger buff of wow. I'm actually using the tanks as pipes. It's funny they work that way. Okay, now, really, goodbye.